The transport ship hummed softly as it moved through the silent darkness of space. A steady rhythm of engines echoing in the narrow metal corridor. He sat near the window, pretending to sleep, his head resting against the cold glass. The reflection of distant stars dancing across his closed eyelids. He wasn't really asleep, not even close. He was watching them, 3 alien sisters, sitting 2 rows ahead, whispering to each other in soft tones that sounded like music mixed with static. Their skin shimmered faintly under the cabin light. Not silver, not blue, something in between, and their eyes glowed softly like deep water catching sunlight. To the other passengers, they looked harmless, curious maybe, but he had seen enough things in the outer colonies to know looks could lie. He adjusted slightly, letting out a fake snore to make his act believable. The smallest sister glanced back for a moment, her gaze lingering on him longer than it should. He felt her eyes trace across his face, as if scanning, as if checking something. He kept his breathing steady, slow, controlled. He had a reason to fake sleeping. Rumors had spread that a group of alien traders were moving through this route, searching for someone. A human, a pilot who once helped their people and then disappeared. He didn't know if these sisters were part of that group, but every instinct told him something was off. And the way they watched everyone on the ship, quietly, almost too quietly, made his gut tighten. The middle sister whispered something, her tone calm yet serious. Her fingers glowed faintly as she tapped a small crystal device on her wrist. A soft pulse of light rippled through the air, invisible to human eyes, maybe, but he felt it like static brushing across his skin. He almost moved, almost opened his eyes, but he stopped himself just in time. He could tell they thought he was asleep. Then, a voice came from the intercom. "Attention passengers, slight turbulence ahead. Please remain seated." The cabin lights dimmed a little, and the ship entered a quiet stretch of dark space, the stars vanishing into a thick cloud of cosmic dust. It was then that the sisters moved. The eldest stood up, tall and calm, her steps soft but confident. She leaned toward the youngest and whispered something that made both of them look around carefully. Their eyes glowed brighter now, and one of them raised her hand toward the man. He felt a faint vibration in his ear, a whisper he couldn't quite catch, like a language brushing the edge of his thoughts. His heart raced, but his face stayed peaceful, still pretending. What were they doing? Scanning him? Testing if he was human? He didn't know. But every second made his curiosity burn stronger. He had faked sleeping many times during missions to observe enemies or spies, but this time felt different. This time it wasn't about survival, it was about them. He had seen alien warriors, soldiers, even hunters, but these sisters carried something else. Their movements were graceful, not violent. Their eyes kind but unreadable. Still, there was power in the way they moved, a silent authority that came not from strength but from knowledge. He remembered the rumors again, that certain alien races could sense human emotions, even memories, by touching their aura. If that was true and they came near him while he was pretending to sleep, they would know everything. The youngest sister suddenly smiled. She reached out, her fingers stopping inches away from his face. Her glow touched the air, and for a moment he felt warmth, like sunlight after a long winter. He almost opened his eyes, but he didn't. She whispered something softly, her voice trembling. "He's the one." The heartbeat matches. His mind froze. The one? What did that mean? Had they been searching for him? But why? He had left everything behind years ago. His ship, his old crew, his reputation. No one should even remember his name. The sisters leaned closer, still speaking in their strange melodic language. The middle one looked unsure, her hand shaking a little. "He's human, but his signal feels like ours," she said. The eldest frowned. If that's true, then the council was right. The bridge still exists. He didn't understand, but the words burned into his mind. Bridge? Council? What kind of bridge connected humans and their kind? Then suddenly the ship shook violently. The passengers gasped, alarms blared, and the captain's voice came through the speaker. "Unexpected debris. Everyone hold on." The lights flickered, and chaos filled the cabin. But through the panic, he stayed still, his eyes half open now. The sisters were calm. Too calm. Their hands glowed again, forming a field of shimmering light that shielded them from falling objects. And that's when he saw it. The middle sister looked straight at him, her glowing eyes meeting his half-open ones. She smiled slightly, a knowing smile. "So you were never asleep?" she whispered. His act was over. He opened his eyes fully, meeting their gaze with quiet surprise. But before he could say a word, the ship lurched again, and a flash of white light filled the cabin. Everything went silent. When the light faded, the cabin was no longer the same. The noise, the alarms, the shaking, all of it was gone. Instead, there was only stillness, a quiet so deep that even his heartbeat sounded too loud in his own ears. He opened his eyes wider, blinking against the dim glow that replaced the ship's normal lighting. The air felt heavier, like breathing through warm fog. People around him were frozen mid-motion, faces stuck in fear, hands raised as if time itself had stopped. He stood up slowly, realizing that every single passenger except the alien sisters, was completely still. The three sisters were standing in the aisle now, their eyes glowing brighter than before. The eldest looked calm, her voice low and smooth. "The human field is strong," she said. "It resisted the fold." The middle sister turned to him, her expression softer, almost sad. "He can move. He's awake inside the pause." He stepped back, confused, his heart pounding. "What did you do? What happened to them?" he asked. "They're safe," the eldest replied. Just paused between moments. Her words made no sense, yet something in her tone told him she wasn't lying. He looked around. People mid-scream, a drink frozen in the air, a flight attendant caught mid-step, and a chill ran through his body. This wasn't a malfunction, it was something else, something far beyond human technology. The youngest sister approached him, cautious. "You felt it, didn't you?" she asked softly. "When the light touched you." He frowned, remembering that brief warmth before the flash. "I don't know what I felt," he said, "but I'm sure I didn't agree to any of this." She smiled faintly, her voice trembling. "You carry something old, something our kind once lost." He shook his head. "I'm just human." The eldest tilted her head slightly. "No, not just human. Hybrid field resonance, half in our frequency, half in yours." He blinked, trying to make sense of her words. "Hybrid field? Resonance? I'm not part alien," he said firmly. "You've got the wrong guy." But deep inside, a small part of him whispered, "What if they're right?" The middle sister extended her hand, a faint shimmer forming around her fingers. "If you let us, we can show you," she said. He hesitated, glancing at the frozen passengers again. If this was a trap, he'd already lost. But if it wasn't, then maybe he was standing in front of something humanity had never seen before. Slowly, he reached out his hand. Her skin was cool, not cold, and when their fingers touched, his vision exploded. Stars, oceans, and glowing structures flashed before his eyes. He saw cities built in clouds of light, ships that moved through space without engines, and beings like her, singing, flying, shimmering with emotion instead of sound. Then he saw fire, war, and collapse. He saw the sisters as children, running through ruins, their world falling apart. And through it all, he felt something inside him answering. A vibration deep in his chest, like an echo waking up after years of silence. When he pulled his hand away, his breath was shaking. "What was that?" he whispered. "Our memory," the eldest said. "And your truth." He stared at her. "My truth? You mean those images? That was real?" "Yes." The middle sister nodded. "You were connected to our world once, through your bloodline or through your spirit. The link never broke." He turned away, rubbing his face, trying to clear the dizziness. He had always felt different, always heard things that others didn't. During flights, he could sense turbulence before instruments warned. He once survived a crash that should have killed everyone, He thought it was luck, but maybe it was something else. "You brought me into this?" he said quietly. "Why?" The youngest sister looked at him with innocent honesty. "Because our people are fading," she said. "And the bridge, you, might be our only hope." He met her eyes, and for a moment, all the fear melted away, replaced by confusion, awe, and something he couldn't name. But before he could speak, the lights around them flickered again. The frozen passengers began to move. Time was returning. The sisters exchanged quick glances. "We can't hold the pause," the eldest warned. "If the crew sees us like this, everything collapses." She grabbed his wrist and pulled him toward the rear of the ship. "Wait, where are we going?" he asked. "To safety," she said. "Before the humans wake and the scanners react." They ran through the narrow passage as lights blinked back to life. He looked back. The passengers were waking, screaming again as if nothing had happened. Only he knew that something had changed forever. At the back of the ship, a hidden door opened, sliding into a compartment that didn't exist on any human ship design. The walls shimmered like liquid glass, and the air hummed with quiet power. The eldest turned to him, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "You can still walk away," she said. "Forget this, forget us. But if you stay, your life will never be the same." He hesitated, looking at the strange sisters before him. Three beings who could stop time, read hearts, and see memories buried deep. His instincts told him to run, but his heart, that strange new pulse that woke when he touched her, told him to stay. "I'll stay," he said finally, and for the first time all three sisters smiled. Their glow brightened, filling the secret room with golden light. Outside, no one knew that one sleeping passenger had just stepped across a line that separated two worlds. The door sealed behind them with a low hum. The sound was soft, almost like a heartbeat, pulsing in rhythm with his own. The light inside the secret chamber was gentle and warm, the walls alive with slow-moving patterns of silver and gold. It felt less like a room and more like being inside a living being's pulse. He looked around, amazed. "What is this place?" The eldest sister answered calmly. "A fragment of our home, hidden inside your vessel." Her words made him step back. "You mean, you built this inside a human ship?" She nodded. "Long ago, before humans reached this route, our kind placed bridges across the stars, small folds of our world inside yours." The middle sister brushed her fingers along the wall, and light followed her touch like ripples in water. "This one was sleeping for years," she said softly, "until your presence woke it." He stared at her, confused but curious. "Why me? You keep saying I'm a bridge, that my heartbeat matches yours. How can that be possible?" The youngest sister looked at him with quiet wonder. "Because once, long ago, a human saved our world," she whispered. He frowned. "Saved your world? That's impossible. Humans just reached your region a few decades ago." But the eldest shook her head. "Not in the way you think. He saved us through connection, through the energy of his will. Your species doesn't understand what emotion truly is." He raised an eyebrow. "Emotion? You're saying feelings can change worlds?" The middle sister smiled. "For us, they are worlds. Our technology works through resonance. Joy, fear, love, all are frequencies. When a human with a pure heart connects to us, it creates harmony between our realms." Her words hung in the air like soft music. He didn't know whether to laugh or believe them, but something deep inside, that strange vibration still humming in his chest, agreed with her. The eldest stepped closer, her eyes glowing faint blue. "When you touched us, the bridge reactivated. That energy was lost since the first contact, centuries ago." She paused, then added, "You are not just a human traveler. You are the descendant of the one who carried the original bridge." He blinked, stunned. "You mean my ancestor?" She nodded. "Yes, the pilot called Arion, the one who refused to abandon our world when it burned." He felt a lump in his throat. That name, Arion, was familiar, His grandfather once told him stories of a star pilot with that name, a man who vanished during a rescue mission near an alien nebula. He thought it was just an old space legend. But now, hearing it from their lips, it felt too real. "So, you think I'm his bloodline?" he asked quietly. "Not only bloodline," said the middle sister. "Spirit line. The resonance passes through heartbeats, not DNA." He tried to process the idea that his emotions, his choices, his compassion could link two civilizations. It sounded unreal, yet standing here in this glowing chamber, it felt right. The youngest moved closer, curiosity shining in her eyes. "When you felt that warmth earlier," she said, "it wasn't energy. It was our way of listening, of feeling your truth." He chuckled nervously. "And what did you find?" Her cheeks glowed a soft pink. "That your heart was honest, but your thoughts were loud." He turned red instantly, realizing what she meant. He had been pretending to sleep, watching them carefully, guessing their motives. He rubbed the back of his neck, embarrassed. "Well, I didn't know 3 powerful aliens were scanning my every thought." The sisters exchanged small laughs, a sound like wind chimes echoing in a canyon. For the first time since the chaos began, the tension eased a little, but it didn't last long. The walls suddenly dimmed, and the golden lines turned red, pulsing faster. The eldest frowned. "They found us." He tensed. "Who?" "The human ship scanners," she said quickly. "The captain's console detected an unknown energy field. They'll come here." He looked toward the door, panic rising. "What happens if they find this room?" The middle sister's voice grew heavy. "They will destroy it. Your kind fears what it does not understand." He took a step forward. "Then we hide. I'll talk to them. I can distract them." But the eldest shook her head. "You can't protect us that way. If they scan your pulse again, they'll see it too. You've already been marked by the bridge." A deep metallic knock echoed through the ship, and a voice on the speaker said, "Security check. All passengers remain in their seats." They were already coming. The youngest grabbed his hand. "If you go out now, they'll arrest you for contact with us." He looked at her glowing fingers wrapped around his, and something inside him made a decision before his brain could catch up. "Then take me with you," he said. All 3 sisters froze, their eyes widening. "You don't understand what you're asking," the eldest warned. "Leaving this ship means leaving your species behind." He smiled faintly. "Maybe that's what the first Arion did too." The middle sister placed her hand over his, her glow merging with his skin. The world around them began to ripple again, the red light fading into silver waves. She whispered, "If you truly wish to cross, do not resist the fold." He nodded once, and before the guards reached the compartment door, a burst of light swallowed them whole. The human ship's scanners blinked, reading nothing but empty air. When the captain entered the back room, there was no trace of them, only faint warmth in the metal, and 3 silver feathers drifting slowly to the floor. When the light faded, the sound of engines, alarms, and human voices was gone. In its place was silence, deep, peaceful, endless. He opened his eyes slowly, feeling warmth touch his face, like sunlight filtered through water. He was standing on solid ground, yet it didn't feel like metal or soil. It shimmered faintly beneath his boots, alive with slow-moving colors that changed like breathing light. Above him stretched a sky he couldn't describe, purple like dawn, blue like ocean, glowing like a dream. He turned around, stunned. They weren't in the ship anymore. They were standing on what looked like a floating island suspended in the sky, surrounded by silver mist and drifting orbs of light. Every few seconds, a gentle hum passed through the air, the sound of the world's heartbeat. The 3 alien sisters stood near the edge, their forms glowing brighter now, their hair moving as if underwater. The eldest turned to him, her tone calm. "Welcome to the Fold World." He took a slow breath, trying to steady himself. "Fold World?" he asked. "So, this is your planet?" She shook her head. "Not a planet. It's between. A bridge space. where both our realities overlap. He looked around again, mesmerized. The air shimmered like heat waves, bending light in strange patterns. In the distance, he could see other floating islands, some covered in crystal towers, others with enormous glowing trees. Creatures shaped like ribbons of light swam lazily through the air between them, leaving trails that faded like mist. He whispered, "It's beautiful." The middle sister smiled gently. "Beauty hides the pain here." He turned to her. "Pain?" She nodded, her eyes dimming. "Our home used to be whole, real, before the war tore it apart. Now only fragments remain inside this fold. We live between time, never fully awake, never fully gone." Her words sent a shiver down his spine. "So you're trapped here?" The eldest nodded. "Our kind cannot survive in your physical space anymore, and humans cannot stay here long, unless they carry the bridge." He stared at her, realizing what that meant. "You brought me here because of that connection," he said quietly. The youngest stepped closer, her glow soft and steady. "We brought you because the council has waited generations for your return. They said the bridge would come back when both worlds were ready again." He rubbed his temples, trying to understand. He wasn't a hero, not a chosen one, not a savior, just a human who wanted a quiet flight. And now he was standing on an alien sky island. Hearing that his existence might decide the fate of two species, it felt absurd, yet the world around him was too real to deny. The middle sister lifted her hand, and a faint line of light appeared in the air. A holographic path stretching out into the mist. "The council awaits us," she said softly. He looked down the path, where distant golden shapes flickered like temples of energy. He swallowed hard. "And what happens when we get there?" The eldest looked at him with steady eyes. "They will judge if you are truly the bridge or just a false echo." He forced a nervous laugh. "Great. So a trial. No pressure." The youngest tilted her head curiously. "You laugh in fear?" He smirked slightly. "Humans laugh when things are too big to handle. It helps us stay sane." The three sisters exchanged looks, as if they were studying something rare and precious. They began to walk along the light path. Every step hummed softly beneath their feet, sending small ripples through the air. He followed, his senses overwhelmed by everything. The smell of ozone, the gentle rhythm of colors, the soft warmth of the ground. In the distance, the shapes of figures began to appear. Tall, graceful, glowing beings with long flowing energy cloaks. As they approached, he could feel their presence before he even saw their faces. It was like standing in front of a storm made of emotion. Waves of thought and feeling flowing through him. They were speaking, but not with words. Their voices were in his mind, calm, deep, echoing like memory. "The bridge returns," one voice said. "Half human, half light, carrying both hearts." Another added. He felt the words vibrate through his chest, as if they weren't speaking to him but through him. The eldest sister bowed slightly. "Honored council," the resonance confirmed. "He carries Arion's mark." He frowned. "I don't carry anything. I'm just me." The beings looked at him, their faces unreadable, their glow shifting from gold to white. Then one stepped closer. A tall figure with eyes like burning stars. When it spoke, the sound came not as words but as emotions. Calm, curious, sad. "Human, do you know why Arion stayed behind when our world fell?" He hesitated. "No, I don't even know who he really was." "He stayed because he loved," the voice said. "He believed love could hold two worlds together." He was wrong, or perhaps early. He felt his throat tighten. Love, that was the reason? Not war, not power, not science, but love? He looked down, silent, the air around him pulsing softly. The being's light dimmed slightly. Now we will see if his descendant carries the same heart, or if humanity has forgotten. Before he could ask what that meant, the air shifted again. The floating island trembled, and a sudden wind tore across the bridge path. He stumbled, grabbing the youngest sister's arm. "What's happening?" he shouted over the noise. The eldest's eyes widened. Someone has breached the fold. From the human side, far away, a hole ripped open in the purple sky, glowing red with energy. And through it, dark metallic shapes began to appear. Human ships, scanning, searching, armed. The council's glow turned cold. "Your people have come, bridge-bearer," they said. "Now we will see which side your heart truly belongs to." The sky tore open like paper. Red light spilled across the silver horizon as human ships forced their way into the fold. The air crackled with static, the peaceful hum of the alien world twisting into chaos. He could see the outlines of heavy cruisers, their cannons glowing, engines roaring. The same technology that had built empires, now invading a realm never meant for them. He stood frozen, watching his own species descend like thunder. Behind him, the alien council stood still, their light dimming as if the breach itself wounded them. The eldest sister stepped forward, her voice steady but sharp. "They came for him," she said. "They tracked the bridge signature through the ship." The youngest trembled, her glow flickering. "They think he was taken. They think we're the enemy." He clenched his fists, guilt washing through him. They had followed his signal, his heartbeat, his resonance. The same gift that had awakened this world was now tearing it apart. "I didn't mean for this," he said quietly, his voice breaking. The middle sister turned to him, her eyes kind. "Intentions don't matter now. Choice does." A deep voice filled the sky, broadcast from the approaching human ships. "This is Captain Lorne of the Earth Defense Command. Unknown energy readings detected. Identify yourselves or prepare for neutralization." The council shimmered, their calm replaced by something cold and ancient. "Your kind has not changed." One of them spoke, voice heavy like thunder. "Always afraid of what it cannot own." He stepped forward quickly. "Please, don't respond with force. They don't understand." But the eldest sister looked at him, her expression unreadable. "And do you understand us?" The question hit deeper than he expected. He looked between the sky and the sisters. His heart pulled in two directions. The humans were his people, his world, his past, his home. Yet these beings had trusted him, shown him their truth, shared their pain and their history. He couldn't stand to see either side destroy the other. The human ships fired warning flares, streaks of orange light cutting across the sky. The ground shook beneath them, the folds floating islands trembling. The youngest sister flinched. "They're breaking the balance. If they keep firing, this bridge space will collapse." "What happens if it collapses?" he asked, panic in his voice. The eldest answered softly, "Both worlds will feel it. The fold connects every pulse between our realms. Your cities, our hearts. All will echo the destruction." He looked up at the sky again, determination rising in his chest. "There's got to be a way to stop this," he said. "Let me talk to them." The middle sister grabbed his arm. "If you go, they'll capture you. They'll see you as infected. Then I'll make them listen before they pull the trigger," he said firmly. The eldest studied him in silence, then nodded slowly. "You carry the bridge, human. Perhaps it's time you use it." Before he could ask what she meant, the ground beneath his feet began to glow. A circular pattern of light expanding outward. He felt energy rise through him, warm and powerful. The sisters formed a triangle around him, their hands raised, their voices soft and rhythmic. The air thickened, pulsing with emotion. Grief, hope, and something deeper. Unity. The council's figures stepped back, their light swirling like wind around them. He felt his heart pounding harder, faster, until it felt like the whole world was beating with him. His body lifted off the ground, weightless, his vision turning white. And then he was there, floating between the two worlds. On one side, the glowing alien realm of peace and light. On the other, the dark hulls of human ships ready for war. A voice came through the comms. "Identify yourself." He took a deep breath, the energy still glowing faintly from his skin. "This is no enemy zone," he said calmly. "This place is alive. You're hurting it." "Alive?" the captain scoffed. "That energy is non-human. It's a threat. He clenched his fists. Then you're wrong. I've seen it, I've felt it. These beings aren't our enemies. They're survivors. Static filled the channel, followed by silence. He could feel the tension, every weapon, every finger on a trigger waiting for a single order. The eldest sister's voice echoed faintly in his mind. Your words carry weight now. Choose them carefully. You speak for both hearts. He looked back at the alien world, its light fading at the edges as the fold strained. He looked up at the human ships, proud and fearful, their lights like stars of war, and then he spoke, his voice strong, steady, human. You see weapons. I see life. You see invasion. I see connection. If you fire, you'll not only destroy them, you'll destroy the bridge that links our futures. You'll kill the chance for peace before it begins. There was silence again, long and heavy. Then a second voice came through the channel, one he recognized. Lieutenant, is that you? His eyes widened. Commander Hale? Yes, we thought you were dead, Hale said. Now you're standing in the middle of an unknown anomaly. Step away. We'll extract you. He shook his head. No, you can't extract me. This place needs balance, and I'm part of it now. Hale's voice hardened. You're speaking nonsense. Whatever they did to you, we'll fix it. He sighed, looking at the alien sisters watching from below, their eyes full of hope. No, Ale. Maybe this time, it's us who need fixing. He raised his hand toward the human fleet. The bridge's energy pulsed through him again, his heartbeat echoing like thunder. The sky itself began to glow, blue on one side, gold on the other, merging into a single light, and for a brief moment, the human sensors showed no division between their ships and the fold. Only one living energy field, beating as one heart. Down below, the sisters whispered in awe. The bridge awakens. The sky pulsed like a heartbeat. Blue and gold light swirled together, wrapping him in a storm of warmth and power. He could feel both worlds breathing through him, the fold's calm rhythm and humanity's restless drive, merging in every pulse of his chest. For a moment, everything was quiet. The human ships drifted still, their scanners frozen, their systems confused. Below, the alien islands shimmered brighter than ever, their colors dancing in harmony instead of fear. He was standing at the very center of it all, the connection point, the living bridge between two civilizations. Then the comm broke. The comms crackled, voices overlapping, shouting, Commander, readings are unstable. The anomaly is spreading. It's fusing with our systems. Shut down weapons. It's reacting to energy output. The captain's voice cut through the noise. Lieutenant, whatever you're doing, stop it. You'll tear the fleet apart. He closed his eyes, trying to focus. He didn't know how he was controlling this, only that it wasn't power. It was emotion. The more fear he felt, the more unstable the light became. The more peace he held inside, the steadier the energy flowed. He whispered softly to himself, Calm. Stay calm. His heartbeat slowed, the chaos in the light softening. Down below, the alien sisters watched with awe. The youngest whispered, He's learning faster than we did.
The eldest nodded. Because he's human. They adapt even in storms. The middle sister placed her hand over her heart, feeling the echo of his pulse resonate through the fold. The bridge is no longer an artifact, she said softly. It's alive. He could hear their voices faintly in his mind now. Not words but feelings. Warmth, hope, fear, trust. They were all connected through him. For the first time, the fold didn't feel alien anymore. It felt familiar, like home. Suddenly, a sharp voice pierced the comms. Lieutenant, you're being overridden. We've locked onto your signal. He looked up just in time to see one of the human ships glowing red. A pulse cannon charging, aiming directly at him. His eyes widened. No, don't. The blast fired before he could finish. A blinding bolt of energy cut through the sky, heading straight toward him. The youngest sister screamed, reaching out. The middle sister raised a shield of light, but it shattered instantly. In that split second he made a choice. He didn't move away. Instead, he opened his arms, letting the energy hit him head-on. The light exploded around him, but it didn't destroy. It flowed through him, twisting into gold and blue spirals, dissolving into pure energy. He felt no pain, only a strange rush, like time folding inside out. He saw flashes, human soldiers, alien children, burning skies, laughter, sorrow, stars being born and dying. All memories not his own. He saw everything both races had ever felt, and he understood. They were never meant to be enemies. They were two halves of the same creation, one of logic, one of feeling, both incomplete without the other. When the light faded, he was still floating. But now, his body was glowing faintly. His veins lit with soft gold. The cannon had stopped firing. On the human ships, readings went flat, no threat, no anomaly, just silence. The captain's voice returned, softer now. "Lieutenant, are you alive?" He smiled faintly, though his voice trembled. "I'm alive, Captain. But I'm not just the same man you sent into the stars." The eldest sister floated up to him, her presence calm and regal. "You stopped the weapon with peace," she said softly. "No warrior of either world has done that." He looked at her, his eyes tired but gentle. "I didn't stop it with power. I stopped it by feeling." Her lips curved into the faintest smile. "Then you understand the heart of the bridge." But before he could answer, the fold trembled violently. The sky cracked again, not from humans this time but from within. The council's golden light began to flicker. "The connection is unstable," one of them shouted. "His human pulse is too strong. The bridge may collapse inward." He gasped as pain shot through his chest, his heartbeat echoing too loud, too fast. The worlds inside him were colliding, fighting for balance. The eldest shouted, "He needs an anchor." The middle sister looked desperate. "If we don't stabilize him, both realms will fall." The youngest sister moved forward, eyes bright with tears. "I'll do it," she said firmly. "I'll anchor his heart." The eldest tried to stop her. "No, if you link with him, you'll lose your form." "I don't care," she shouted. "He saved us, now it's our turn." She flew toward him, her hands glowing. He tried to speak. "Wait, you can't." But it was too late. Her light entered his chest like a wave of warmth. He felt her emotions flooding through him. Her kindness, her curiosity, her unspoken admiration. Their hearts synced, one beat, one rhythm. The energy around them calmed instantly. The fold stopped shaking. The colors softened back to gold and silver. He floated gently to the ground, the youngest sister beside him, her glow fading. She smiled weakly. "See? Balance." He looked at her, tears in his eyes. "You'll vanish if you stay linked." She shook her head, whispering softly, "Then I'll stay where your heartbeat lives." Her body dissolved into faint light that entered his chest, and suddenly everything went still again. He fell to his knees, silent. The sky above him cleared. The ships withdrew. The fold pulsed once, slow, calm, alive. The eldest sister placed her hand on his shoulder. "She chose to become one with the bridge," she said quietly. "Her soul will live as long as yours does." He looked up at the glowing horizon, his voice breaking. "She trusted me completely." The eldest nodded. "That is what connects us all, human. Not technology, not power, but trust."
The light around him settled into calm silence. The storms of gold and blue had faded, replaced by a gentle glow that felt like breathing peace. He stood at the edge of the Fold Island, looking into the sky where two worlds touched but never blended fully. The human ships were distant now, small, metallic dots retreating into their own space. The Fold realm floated quietly beneath him, alive and glowing again. It was over, the war that almost began, the collapse that almost ended everything. But something inside him knew that peace always came at a price. He placed a hand on his chest, feeling the slow, steady rhythm there. It wasn't only his heartbeat anymore. He could still feel her. The youngest sister, faint, soft, like a warm voice in his soul. Sometimes a whisper, sometimes just a feeling of comfort. "You're still here," he said quietly. A gentle shimmer appeared near his hand, forming the outline of light shaped like her face. "Always," her voice whispered, "you're the anchor now." He smiled weakly, his eyes wet. The eldest and middle sisters approached him, their glow soft but tired. "The bridge is stable," said the eldest. "Because of you, and because of her." He turned toward them. "What happens now?" The middle sister looked toward the horizon, where human space faded into silver clouds. "The council believes the fold will heal now," she said. "But it will take time, maybe centuries. Our kind will stay here, guarding the link." He nodded slowly, understanding. "And me?" The eldest studied him for a moment, her eyes kind. "You have two choices, bridge-bearer. You can return to your people, tell them what you've seen, teach them what we are, or you can stay and keep the balance from within." He looked out at both worlds, torn. On one side, the stars of home, his people, his memories, the familiar sound of human voices. On the other, this place of calm light, emotion, and truth, where one alien girl had given everything so that both sides could live. He asked softly, "If I leave, what happens to her spirit inside me?" The middle sister smiled gently. "She will remain, as long as you live with peace in your heart. The bridge exists where your choices do." He exhaled slowly, his decision heavy but clear. He turned to the eldest. "Humans fear what they don't understand, but fear can change when they see. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do, to show them what really lies beyond." The eldest bowed her head slightly. "Then you carry not only her light, but ours." She stepped closer, placing her hand over his heart. A golden symbol bloomed beneath her palm, a faint mark that shimmered like starlight. "Wherever you go, this will keep the fold open. A thread between us and your world," she said. He nodded, feeling warmth spread through his chest. The middle sister extended her hand, and a path of light opened in the air, stretching toward the distant stars. "Follow it," she whispered, "and it will take you home." He took one last look around. The islands of light floated quietly, the skies humming softly. The council's glow had faded into the clouds, but he could still feel their presence. Calm, proud, grateful. He looked at the sisters one more time. "I'll come back," he said firmly. The eldest smiled. "The bridge never truly leaves." He stepped forward, walking onto the path of light. With every step, the world behind him dimmed, and the stars of human space grew brighter. He could hear faint echoes, laughter, whispers, memories of everything that had happened. Then, a familiar voice spoke inside his mind. "Don't forget to look up," she said softly. "That's where we'll meet again." His eyes filled with tears, but he smiled through them. "I'll never forget," he whispered. The light grew blinding for a moment, then faded. When he opened his eyes again, he was standing on the deck of a rescue ship. Human crew members surrounded him, stunned. "Lieutenant, we thought you were gone." He smiled faintly. "I was, but I found something worth coming back for." They scanned him quickly, confused by the faint glow under his skin. "What happened to you?" one asked. He looked out the window, seeing only stars, but for a brief second, one of them shimmered gold. He smiled. "I made friends on the other side." Later, as the ship prepared for the long flight home, he stood by the viewing port. Space stretched endless and calm, but he could feel it now, truly feel it. Every heartbeat, every spark of energy around him was alive, connected. He wasn't just a passenger anymore. He was the bridge, the living reminder that humanity's greatest strength wasn't technology. It was the ability to understand, to trust, to feel. He whispered softly to the stars, "If you ever hear my heartbeat, know that I kept my promise." And far beyond the edge of human sight, in the fold's glowing horizon, a faint echo answered, a soft golden light pulsing once, twice, like a heartbeat across eternity.